Oh, what's up?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Pretty good.
It's nice to meet you. I'm glad you came with him as his support. He told me he was going to bring you. How do you feel about that?
Pretty good. I mean, I've never been here. It's nice to meet you too. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So what do you think about your friend being here with you?
It's pretty nice. Because I can't have him around all the time.
You can't have him all the way around all the time?
Yeah, he gets on my nerves sometimes.
I thought we was working through this, young man.
We are.
We are.
Everything been great since we found the Lord,
Oh, good.
He been in church more, and he been reading up on the Bible and everything.
And how about you? How about you, Connor? How are you?
I'm pretty good. A little now and then, it gets on my nerves, but it's better from a year ago.
Definitely.
That's good. Ever since you guys have came to me. Oh, I love that, you guys. You guys are so
I've
great.
seen a change with these two.
You have?
Yeah.
Let me ask you from the outside looking in. What type of changes have you seen? Because, if you remember, I don't know if they told you or not, but since you're here, you did sign a waiver and everything to, for disclosure to be open to you. And they were fighting and they were carrying on. They called each other terrible names. They would fist fight. They would do all kind of stuff like that. What have you seen since you're around them more than I? What do you see?
Well, since I'm normally lingering around with these two, I've noticed they've been more patient with each other. They've definitely been talking their problems out instead of just finding ways to fight. And they've just been a lot more kind to each other and just a lot more
just brotherly love,
yes,
more
brotherly love.
That's what I would call it, some brotherly love. Oh, I'm seeing
that, yeah. They never hug, but now they do
they hug it out. Well,
yeah.
okay. Well, it looks like my job is done. I've done a lot of, work with you two, and I've seen a lot of things. I just want to ask you a couple questions, and I'm going to go on ahead and we'll end our session. You guys, I know that you, Jakari, you found the Lord first. Well, I don't want to say, because I am a Christian therapy, that you found the Lord. The Lord never was lost. That's the wrong words I want to say. But you got into a relationship with God. Since your relationship and how strong it grew, and I know that you told me you were growing your relationship with the Lord, and that you were going to try to work on your brother's relationship to try to bring him into you, and you did successfully, and that was awesome. How has your growth in the Lord been?
It's been pretty good. I feel like I understand everything well, and everything just makes sense, Everything seems more peaceful and definitely more patient and kind. Better than my lifestyle I was living before, for sure, because everything I was living fast and just doing whatever I want to do. Not thinking about tomorrow or my choices could impact how everything can be seen or people project me. Now I actually think about stuff like that. I think about the future, and I think about how I could affect how I could put out my energy to others. Try to lead others in the right path.
Oh, that is so awesome.
And I'm trying to get people to follow me. My brother, we've been doing way better now. For sure.
Pretty much. So you think Connor did, with that being said, and people are watching your lifestyle and watching the things that you and your brother do you think that you guys are leading people in the right way to live as brothers peacefully? Because we know all brothers don't get along. I have sisters myself, and we don't get along every single time. But I'm not supposed to be talking about me, so we're going to talk about you. So what would you say about you guys making the better example of, your relationship with not only each other, but with God?
I mean, I say it definitely got better, and we are a pretty good example, because we take everything, all of our situations, we take it very seriously now.
You don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We really are grateful for each other, because people don't have brothers, and we supposed to be really close to each other instead of fighting.
Right.
And we see it through the Lord. We pray about it every night, every day, every moment we get a chance for it. And it has been a very blessing for us to come here and talk to you, because this is a great thing for us. Really change our
You're
life.
welcome. You're welcome. That's my job. So what about you, Connor? What do you think? I know you've always been the quiet one, but it's okay to speak. You can speak to me. You know you can trust me.
It's definitely been better. I will say that. Glory to God. He's the reason why we're in this position.
Amen. Amen.
You know, never really thought I would actually ever meet my brother since we were fighting, but like now that I'm actually bonding with him, I can see a lot of things better.
That's awesome. Oh, I love that. I love that bond that you guys have. And I thank you so much, Eliza, for coming in and just being a support to not only Jakari, but being a support to Connor as well. Because I know that with them, we're with them quite a bit. So that means you have to see and I'm sure give your opinion on things every now and then, or have to kind of push that stop sign. Hey, chill out, you know. I know that happens.
Definitely seeing the world at a different angle as brothers. Definitely, they're definitely like finding more opportunities to bond.
I really appreciate that, especially coming from such an intelligent young lady. I see, you know, I see why they're just drawn to you as friends. You know what I mean? You guys have a great friend here. She cares about you genuinely. She loves everything that's going on in your life, and she wants to be there to help you. So if there's any, you know, y'all might not see it right now, but if there might come a time where you want to maybe get into it again, maybe you guys should talk to her, and maybe she could be that middle,
like the peacemaker.
The pacemaker. That's the words I'm looking for. See, I told you, she's so intelligent. She's even giving me words. That is so crazy. Well, I guess we'll just end your session with that. I just want to let you guys know that I thank you. And if you guys have any last words for me, because you know this is our last session, we won't be seeing each other anymore after this. Is there anything you'd like to say to me?
Just say thank you for your time. Everything you've been through is really a blessing to have. You changed the way we see the world and our perspective.
Thank you.
I would really like your number though. I want to stay in touch.
Okay. Now, I will definitely give you. I'll give you my card because I know you come and you guys have been coming for so long. You've probably lost it or misplaced it. But I'll give you another card, and I'll give you one as well, Connor. And I want you guys to say, and I'll give you one. If you see them carrying on, you call me right away, even though I don't think that that's going to happen. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Between laughter and tears I walk, bright days and nights unsure. When my heart was close to giving up, your voice called me to endure. In the valleys I learned this truth, my faith is not built on the ground. Even when everything is shaking, I am safe within your hands. When the bridge begins to sway, I will not turn back in fear. The one who promised I'd arrive is faithful to keep me. You are the God who never changes. In the chaos.
Lord, thank you. Thank you. I recall, takes me back to remember when you first spoke to me, doing around July 1980. I was in a park in Columbia, Missouri, and I just think about the Lord, that when you spoke to me and you told me when I had a drink in my hand and I was standing around with my boys, we were all just kicking it back in July of 1980, and I think about how you spoke to me. You told me that I was going to give all of this up. And I remember turning to my boys and telling them, hey man, I'm going to give all this up. And I remember my boys telling me, start laughing and say, yeah, sure, right. And of course, you know, I knew it wasn't going to happen right then and there, but I knew that deep down in my spirit that it was you that was speaking to me. I just knew, even though I didn't have the relationship that I have with you now, I just knew that it wasn't just the alcohol speaking to me. I knew it was the voice of you, even though I didn't recognize you as I do now. So I thank God I just thank you for just getting me started and getting me on my way. And I remember you speaking to me and telling me that I was going to give all this up, and I just knew that one day that I would, even though it didn't happen right then and there. And I just thank you, Lord, because it just reminds me, I was being a drinking, I was an alcoholic. And as I'm sitting here and I'm just reminiscing, Lord, how one day I was driving and I knew that I had to give this up, and I knew that I should give it up. But of course that was 1980, and here we are in today's time, and it was a process. I was going through the process of everything, and I recall that, but that was always on my mind that I was going to give all this up. I was going to give this drinking up. I was going to give this life up. My life was going to change, and I knew it in my heart, even though I didn't understand it at the time. And as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, Lord, it goes back. I'm going back to the processes. I'm just thinking about the process as I had been out partying, drinking. Man, I was just toasted. I had been drinking, and I remember getting home, and I get this phone call, and my friend was telling me, hey man, we're getting ready to party, so you should come on over. And at that time, I knew I should have stayed home because I was toasted. But the party in me, and I believe now, I now understand it was all part of your game plan. But I get in my car, and I'm thinking, Lord, I said, all the time I said, I should stay home. But the alcohol in me was saying, go party, go party. And I remember driving, and I didn't get 2 blocks from where I was staying at on Colorado Boulevard here in Denver, because going back to 1980, that was in Columbia, Missouri, but here in Denver. And I remember driving, and didn't get 2 blocks, and the police pulled me over, and I can hear these signs. Woo, woo, woo. And Lord, I remember that driving down Colorado Boulevard, didn't get 2 blocks, and I hear these sirens, and the red lights are flashing lights, and the officer pulled me over. And here, I didn't even think about it. I wasn't even concerned that how drunk I was at the time. All I knew that, man, he's hindering my party time. But I remember the officer pulled me over, and back then they used to do the sobriety test, and Lord, I remember the officer walking up to my car door, and at the time I was driving a Cadillac, and I remember rolling down the window, and the officer, they do the standard question, sir, you know why I stopped you? And I'm looking at him. He said, have you been drinking? And I remember the officer stopped me and pulled me over, and he's walking up to the window, and I rolled down my window, and the officer asked me, why did you, do you know why I stopped you? And I'm looking at him, and he said, have you been drinking? And I remember looking at him and like, yes, I have. And I remember the officer looking at me, he started laughing, because I'm assuming he's probably used to people lying to him. But that alcohol had me, and then the alcohol said, tell him yes. So I told him yes, and I remember the officer saying, so we need to do a sobriety test. And the officer said, I need you to get out of the car, and I'm gonna get you to do the sobriety test and walk a line for me. And I remember looking up at the officer, and I'm leaning on the side. I looked at the officer, and I said, no, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to open my car door, and then you're going to open your car door, and I'm going to get out of my car and get into your car, and we're going to go ahead and do this thing. The officer just stood laughing, just laughed, and he looked at me, and he said, you know what? This is one of the easiest pull-ups I ever had. He said, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to arrest you, but if you can get somebody to come and pick you up, I got to take you down to the station. He said, but I'm not going to arrest you if you get somebody to come and pick you up. And I remember calling, at this time, a lady I was dating, and going through I can't think what the breath analyzer. And I remember blowing into that thing, and the needles went off the chart. I said, Lord, thank you. But, the thing that really blessed me was God's favorite hand was on me even at that time. I didn't realize your hand was on me, Lord, and I just thank you that you did. I remember going to court that time, and I was sitting in front of the court, and the judge's name was Judge Alfred Hurl. I'd never forget his name. And he called me up. He said, Mr. Logan, you want to come up here? He looked at my record, and he said, you're not a bad guy. He said, but you like to drink a lot. Then he said some things. He said, you must like being a slave. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And he pointed out the officers. He said, I've been on this bench X amount of years, and all I ever had to come before me is people of color. He said, this is what I'm going to do. He said, you see those officers over there? He said, those are going to be your slave masters if you continue down this road. He said, the jail cell is going to be your new household. And, it hit me. He said, but I got to do what the law tells me to do. He gave me the max of everything. 20 days in jail, suspended. Community service. He told me, he said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to spend your community service time at a library. And I want you to study about alcoholism, the prohibition, and the effects of alcoholism. And that's what I did. And I stopped drinking. After being on anti-abuse and everything, I stopped drinking. I'll never forget it. It was December, New Year's Eve of 1989. And I was out at a club. It was New Year's Eve, December 1989. Went to a club. Used to be a club named Session 21. That was on Colfax. And I was in there for almost 2 hours before I realized that I hadn't took a drink. And I remember prior to that, I remember, Lord, I speaking to you, and I said, Lord, if you're real, deliver me from this. 2 hours in that club, and I never took a drink, and I never looked back since then. So, God, I know that you're real, and I know that you're merciful, and I thank you for delivering and saving me.
Life can change in an instant. You wake up in the morning and you start walking through your day, and something unexpectedly happens. It changes the course of your life. In the book of Habakkuk, God tells Habakkuk, my ways are higher than yours, and you can never possibly understand why I do everything I do. But what I do is because I love you. And if we don't know who God is, when something unexpectedly happens, it's so easy to be misled in this world and make wrong decisions that can put us on a path that we're not meant to be on. Sometimes God does something unexpectedly to get us on the right path. It's life, and sometimes it changes, and it changes quickly.
So life can change in an instant. When I had many times in my life changed in an instant. When I was a child, I was sexually abused. That changed in an instant, changed my entire life from then on. When I was a teenager, life changed in an instant. When I became a young mother at the age of 19, life changed in an instant. And, getting married and getting divorced 25 years later, life changes in an instant. Something happens and you're not expecting it. And it just changes your world and the way that you look at things. Each thing shapes you differently. Your thoughts, your actions toward things in your life, how you react to things, how you see things, and see people. When I was in my 40s, life changed in an instant. After I got divorced and moved back to Colorado, I got involved in tarot card reading and doing Reiki on people. That's something I was never into before, and just found my way into that world and stayed there for a while. Thought I was helping people, but really wasn't. Not in the way that I thought I was. And that was revealed to me by God in 2019, when I feel like God was like, enough is enough, and I have a bigger purpose for you. So we're not doing that anymore. The tarot card thing's going away, and you're not going to like how I do it. But sometimes God does things that we like. So sometimes God says, I'm done with that, and I'm getting you on a different path now. And sometimes we don't understand how He does that. And for me, it was taking me out of the tarot card world by showing me what the tarot card world really is and how it operates. Not just the tarot card world, but Reiki, mediums, psychics, all of them. They all operate the same way, and they may not know that they're operating in the same way, but it's not by God. It's not God. And it's the way the enemy operates. And what God showed me through that was really getting the enemy in my face to show me that that's not where I belong. And even though I believed in God, I didn't have a relationship with Him at the time. But I was raised as Mormon, so I knew that God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit existed. I had my first experience with the Holy Spirit when I was 15. And that, if I hadn't have had that experience, I don't think that I would have relied on God as much as I needed to at the time when He brought the enemy into my face. And I call it into my face because I could hear the enemy speaking to me for 5 days. And at first I was terrified and didn't know what to do. Didn't know what it was. And the only thing I knew to do was to pray to God and ask Him to remove it and to send me to the right people to help me with this, because I didn't know how it was going to leave. And I honestly thought I was going to die in that experience. But I know God wasn't going to let that happen, because God had a bigger purpose for me. I didn't know that at the time, and it was scary. But God pulled me out of that. It took 5 days. He pulled me out of it, and I was just grateful. And I started going back to church, asked God to lead me to the right people. And the first church I went back to was the Mormon church, but I quickly learned that that's not where God wanted me. He sent me to another church, which is where I go now, True Faith Worship Ministries. And when I say life changes in an instant, I'm now an ordained evangelist. God has changed my life many times instantly. And I'm just grateful for where I am now. Grateful for where I am. My relationship with God has grown tremendously since then. And some people that you think will always be there aren't, but He brought new people. And I'm grateful for that. We don't always get to, well, it's not true, because we get to have free choice, free will. We get to choose. And sometimes we don't make the best choices. And we get put into positions we don't want to be in, you know? And if you don't have God in your life, then you really don't know if you're making the right choice. Because God's wisdom and word is what leads you to making the right choice. And I'm grateful for all of that. Sometimes we don't always see the beauty of how God operates. You know, we don't get to see His hand on things and why He does things, because His way is higher than ours. His way is much higher than us, and He has a higher purpose, and we don't always get to see it or understand it. We're just living it, and hopefully living in His way and will. And we don't always appreciate everything God has given us. Like all this beauty around us right now. And I'm just grateful for all of it.
Here's where it all went down in a seemingly quiet storefront. Not many people. Not a lot of traffic. But sometimes things can start to happen slowly. Here in this little space right here between the storefronts and the back garages of two different buildings is where it all took place.
So it's done? Okay. So I was sitting on that wall. I was sitting on a little, maybe a 3.5, maybe about a 3.5 foot wall. Me and Orlando and Rasta. We were sitting there talking Saturday. It was the day before Christmas. And I remember that because you bring me to the store to Ross's because I wanted to go shopping. Anyways, I was sitting on the wall and Orlando says, "Geez, buddy." He's calling me buddy. He said, "Geez, buddy, look at this guy." So I looked up and the guy's come through the parking lot with the pregnant girl, and she was pregnant, and I want to say she was about maybe 7-8 months. She was big. And they were walking through the parking lot. They were arguing already. And my friend said, Orlando said, "Man, it takes a big man to argue with the woman, make her," and he said that. He said, "It takes a big man to argue with the woman to belittle her, make her like that." Rasta said, "Yo, Tony," because he's Rastafarian.
Right.
He said, "Tony, in my country," he said, "in my country, the women have no rights." And he's pretty mad. He said, the women have no rights in our country. And he started talking about it. But anyways, the people walked around the corner. They had argued through the parking lot, big parking lot. They had argued all the way from one end to the other. We had watched them. They had went to the store. I don't care what store they went in. I don't. They came out and they were coming back around. And me and Orlando was standing there talking. We stand up to start going to the store. And the girl, the corner of the wall was right there. Me and Orlando was walking this way. The girl and her boyfriend was supposedly walking this way. Well, when we got maybe 7 to 8 feet from the corner of the building, I seen the girl fly back on her back. Just fly back like she just got punched in her face or something. She flew back, landed on her back, being she's pregnant. And I said, oh, so I was going to go help her up. And I seen the guy come at her, and I was like, oh, I'm going to nail this guy. I'm going to knock him out. I was in a bad mood that day anyways. I was in a mood that I wanted to punch somebody. I wanted to hurt somebody. I was just talking to Orlando. I said, I'm done. I'm cool. I'm cooling down. I want to be cool. The guy came around the corner, and he went to reach for the girl, pick her up. And I was like, leave her alone. Don't touch her. And just that quick, guy pulls out his gun. And he aimed it. When he aimed it, Orlando took off running. I don't know why, but I kept going at him. I wasn't even 7, 8 foot away. I was like, I don't care. I don't care if he's got a gun. I was going to protect that woman. She's pregnant. And I was going to grab him. I was going to grab him and punish this guy. And he pulled out a gun and he went like this. And when he went like this, he was maybe 10 foot away, maybe 5 to 10 foot away. I want to give or take. When he pulled the gun out at me, I could see it was at me. I could see it was pointed at me. Got 20/20 vision. He pointed at me. I don't know why, but I kept walking at him. At this particular time in life, I did not care about life. I don't care about life. I have a better point of view now. I kept walking at him. I was gonna tackle him. He shot again, pop, pop. And I woke up. I was like, stop. And I stopped. He picked this girl up. He picked her up like this. And he started saying, he cussed her out. He was yelling at her. And I was like, I'm going to get you. But I couldn't do nothing. He was walking away. He had a gun in his hand. And so I said, okay, I'll let it go. I'll let it go. And the next day, the guy, when he shot, you could see that little powder trace, the gunpowder trace. It was about maybe so far out the gun. Big old flash went back into the gun. And I wasn't even like 5 to 10 foot away. And it was aimed right at me. I was looking right at it. I was looking right down the back. There's old saying, I looked down the barrel. No, I was looking down the barrel. When people say that, that's a metaphor. That's a paraphrase. That's a phrase of emotion. I looked down this barrel of the gun, and you can see the little aimer thingy on top of the gun. And I don't know. I wanted to tackle this guy. I wanted to get him. But it was just the idea that I woke up in that instance. After the 4th bullet was shot and he shot 4 rounds at me. After the 4th round was shot, I woke up and I was like, I better not tackle this guy the way I want to. And so many things went through my head. Well, I seen the powder flash. Every gun has a powder flash. And I was standing maybe 5 to 10 foot away from this guy. And like I said, he aimed it right at me. And he shot twice the first time, twice the second time. And the third time he shot, I said I had woke up. By that, I mean I came to what would call my senses. I wanted to grab this guy. I didn't care. I didn't care about life. I don't care about life. I do now. When I kept walking towards him, the third time he shot, I went, oh, you're in the middle of a situation, in the middle of a man with a gun, and it's aimed at you. And I don't know why, but the first 2 shots, pow, pow. I was easily 5 to 10 foot away. The third shot, pow, pow. I was 5 foot away. At least I could have reached down and grabbed the gun. I could have reached down and grabbed it, but I did not. In the movies, you see people grab a gun barrel, whoop, 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 just snatch it and gun. No, that does not happen. I could have grabbed it. I could have reached out and grabbed the barrel and wrestled. I did. I woke up. I said, this guy's got a gun. This guy has got it pointed at me. And everything that went through my head was Asian and Tony. I said, what would they do without me? Where would they be without me? In this life, we can say, I don't know what I'd do without you. I don't know where I'd be without you. But
it's okay.
Asian and Tony only deserve the best. And I decided to leave it alone. But by that time, he had fired the 4th shot. Pow! And again, Orlando and Rasta took off running. In my ignorance, I was going to go at him. I didn't care. Again, I was at a time in life I did not care. I don't care. I can say a million times, I don't care. And I believe it. I mean it. My sons deserve the best. And I should not have done what I did. But it was in the protection of a woman. Men nowadays take women for granted. You know the old metaphor, oh, cook my breakfast, make my bed. No, it's not cook my breakfast, make my bed. Nowadays, sugar and spice is not sugar and spice anymore. The next day, I got on the bus. I was on the bus, the 105 bus. I got off going to work. These 2 same people, and I knew it was them because the guy had the same shirt on, the girl was pregnant. I got out the back of the door because I knew if I went to the front door, I would have started doing something. And so I got out the bus. They didn't see me. I seen them. I got out the bus and I went to work. The reality of it is I was going to put myself up for grabs over a woman. And it's not because she's a woman. She was being hit by a man. I just don't see that. I was going to grab him and I was going to deal with him. I did not. I seen them on the bus. They didn't see me. They didn't recognize me. I got off the bus. And the whole day at work, I thought I put myself on the line for a person that did not care about herself, about her situation, about the people around her. She went back to this guy. They was on the bus, and she was hugging and kissing him on the bus. I got off the bus. I said, I'm good, man, with people. I don't want no more with people. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to talk to people. I just said, it's amazing that you can do something for somebody and the gratitude is not there. If the gratitude would have been there, and I understand she's a woman, but she would have left that man. She would have, any woman that gets hit by a man, either you're stupid or you're so naive that you don't want to say nothing. There's nobody that naive that you don't say nothing.
They're afraid.
And no matter how afraid you are, there is something you could say. I myself in life, I realized, and I'm not going to stop because of this situation. Somebody's in need, help them. But the reality of it is these people nowadays, they'll take what they can get.
Right.
That lady took the hand to get this man off of her, but she did not take the appreciation that I stood up for her.
Put your life at risk.
I put my life at risk, and the situation, the whole upsetter of the situation that made me upset is that I seen her with him, and she was on the bus. I got off at the next bus stop when they got on, because they got on Mississippi. I got off on next. I got on the bus, and she's like this. She's on the bus rubbing his hair. And she was saying something. She's rubbing his hair like this. Oh, baby. I'm just saying. She's going like this. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh. And I'm sitting there thinking,
are you crazy?
You're crazy. And I did not see him hit her. But when she was on the ground and I went to help her and I seen him come around, I said, I went from helping her to defending her.
Right.
She had blood coming out her nose. When I seen her lip was like
swollen.
Yeah. And I was going to help her up. I was just going to go over and help her up. Say, you okay? Then I seen this guy come around the corner. And he came around the corner and just that quick.
Wow.
Just right to her face. And I said, I turned into offense. I went offensively. I said, grab him. And I didn't grab him because I was still a little bit, but all in all, like I said, I was so close. I could have reached down, grabbed his gun, and wrestled him, but that's in the movies.
Right.
Let me tell you about the movies in real life. It's not real. You know why I always say I love you?
Why?
Because you don't know when tomorrow is going to bring.
Right. God says
if
that.
Anybody knows me, I always say, I love you, Rod.
Yeah.
I love you, Lisa. Literally, I'll see you tomorrow. I love you.
Me too.
Shawnee, I love you.
Yeah.
But nothing compares. Nothing. All the bad things in my life. All the good things in my life. Nothing compares to when I bring Tony home from the hospital. He was only a day old. Bring Tony home from the hospital. Renika, at 1 o'clock in the morning, they let Tony, she was in labor for like 7-8 hours. She got out of the hospital that night. July 24th, I'm laying in the bed. Newborn Tony on my chest. Baby blanket wrapped up warm. Asian. I had Tony like this, and my dad used to do this, pat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He used to always have this pat. And I was doing that to Tony. I had Asian like this. Renika sleeping. I had cooked Renika dinner that night. Told her, don't do nothing. I'm going to take care of everything. She's sleeping. I had Tony. Just got them feeding him, got him to sleep. Asian was knocked out. The people next door were arguing all night long. We could hear them arguing, partying. About 1 o'clock in the morning, we heard, a whole bunch of curse words and then a slam door. About 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm watching this movie. Renika's knocked out. I'm watching this movie. Asian's knocked out. Tony's knocked out. I could not sleep. And pop. I jumped on Renika. I jumped on Tony. I jumped on Asian. And as tight as I could, I pulled them close. I bear hugged everybody. I pulled them close. Being that the bullets were coming through the ceiling of the first floor into the room on the second floor, I don't know why, but I positioned myself at an angle where I was underneath Tony and Asian, where they were just to the side
protected,
of me.
so it would hit you first.
Yeah, and when the police did their report, they had found over 14 different caliber bullets. I'm not going to say 14 people shooting, maybe somebody's holding 2 guns. But they found 14 bullet, 28th and Jasmine, Lisa.
Wow.
There's some apartments, and the bullets went through our apartments into the apartments at the end of the block in the other complex. They found about 20 bullet holes in Renika's bedroom ceiling. And nothing happened. Asian, Tony, they were okay. Renika was okay. The police came, all in all. We ended up going to my house. But the worst thing that ever happened to me was knowing that my sons went through that. I'm not at the best with Renika, but Renika can tell you the same story.
You said it was
I loved her at one time, and I jumped on her to save her.
Right.
I put my life in front of her. I put my life in front of Asian and Tony. And I would gladly do it again. Just to know that they're saved.
Would you say that was the Lord that kept and covered you guys?
Well, Renika had a queen-size bed, and the bullets were around the bed in the ceiling.
So that was protection.
Nothing came through the mattress.
That was God. That was God, his mercy and his grace.
Yeah. And so, all in all, she moved out of there. I told her, don't go back to the apartment. She hasn't. I don't go in that area. I've always thought it was a curse because of that. But I myself, the worst thing that ever happened to me was that. And as a dad, I could say a million times, I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for what happened, but it wasn't me that did it.
Right.
I can only say sorry so many times. What I won't say sorry for is how I protected them. I protected them with my heart, with my soul, with my life. And I just wanted them to see another day.
And I believe that God is that way with us. He just wants to protect us with all of his love, with all of his power, with everything he can. And
mysterious ways.
In the mysterious ways, he does it. Ways we can't figure it out, but God's ways, it says in the word, are not our ways.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you for your testimony, and
I love you, Asian and Tony.
He loves you. Your dad does love you. Give him a call.
That still blows through the glass. I was knee deep in the shadow where the jackals grin, chasing highs that fade like the ink on my skin. Temptation's a thief in the guise of a rose, thorn in my side while the garden still grows. Drunk on the bitter, I was spilling the ash, but his love took my wreckage and turned it to a path. Footsteps scribbled in the dust, scar trails of a man learning to trust. Whisper of grace through the canyons roar. Go and sin no more. Go and sin no more. Chains hit the floor.